Consider this for a moment. Have you ever faced a time in your life where you felt completely drained? I mean, utterly at the very end of your own strength. And you wonder where on earth you could possibly find the power to keep going. It's a profound human experience, isn't it? Today, in our deep dive, we'll explore a really transformative truth about where genuine strength truly lies, especially in those moments when we are confronted, with our deepest human limitations. We're delving into a perspective that, well, it really challenges our conventional notions of power and resilience.
Yeah, and it's so crucial to acknowledge that these moments of depletion, these times when you feel utterly spent, maybe vulnerable, they are not failures. Not at all. In fact, our exploration into human experience and ancient wisdom reveals something quite different. They are unique opportunities, really. The central message that has emerged from our insights is this. When we genuinely reach the very limits of our own ability, that is precisely when a greater, often unseen power can begin to manifest most brightly in our lives. It's an extraordinary paradox, I know, but one that countless individuals have found to be a living, undeniable truth.
And this profound understanding, this living reality, it's deeply rooted in timeless wisdom, isn't it? We find such a powerful articulation of it in the ancient scripture of Isaiah 40, verses 29 through 31. It speaks directly to those who are weary, stating unequivocally that strength is given to them. This isn't merely an abstract idea, something just ponder in theory. It's a foundational principle that is echoed through human history, consistently illustrated through real experiences. Experiences that highlight how individuals have tapped into an inexhaustible source of renewal when their own resources were completely spent.
That's really the heart of our discussion today, this core concept. It suggests that human weakness is not some deficit to be hidden away or to feel ashamed of. Instead, it actually serves as an invitation, an open door, if you will, to rely upon a source of profound strength, a strength that far surpasses anything we can conjure on our own. And this shifts our entire perspective, doesn't it? From one of, say, self-condemnation, where we might feel inadequate for not being strong enough, to one of open reception, where we become receptive to extraordinary help and unexpected support. It directly challenges that deeply ingrained societal notion that we must always appear strong, always capable, always in unwavering control. Honestly, the truth is that pressure itself can be one of our greatest burdens.
Oh, absolutely. That societal pressure to constantly fake being strong or, project an image of invincibility. It can indeed be utterly crushing, and it's often in those moments of genuine vulnerability when we've exhausted our own reserves that this profound truth truly takes hold. So let's delve into a powerful example that illustrates this principle in action. The story of a single mother. Just try to imagine her situation. She's navigating the complexities of life, doing her absolute best to provide and nurture, and then just boom, without warning, she loses her job. Just like that, she's plunged into a severe and unexpected financial hardship. Can you really grasp the immense pressure she must have felt? I mean, the immediate weight of providing for her family, the overwhelming uncertainty, the raw fear of the unknown, it would be an absolutely consuming burden for anyone.
Exactly. Yet what we see unfold in her story is truly remarkable, and it speaks volumes to the principle we're exploring. Instead of succumbing to despair, instead of just giving up hope and retreating, she made a conscious, deliberate choice. She chose to cling to that very promise we mentioned earlier. He gives strength to the weary. Her response wasn't passive resignation, not at all. She actively leaned into prayer, pouring out her heart, her fears, and crucially, she sought tangible support from her community. That's key. She understood, perhaps intuitively or through her faith, that her moment of weakness wasn't an ending, but a new beginning, an invitation for a deeper reliance, for a broader network of support to emerge around her. She refused to face it alone.
And it was precisely out of that intentional reliance that what many might describe as small miracles began to unfold around her. Think about the profound impact of these moments. Groceries mysteriously appearing on her doorstep, often just when her pantry was at its barest, right? Meeting a critical, immediate need. Then, a part-time job offer emerging from a neighbor, a connection she hadn't actively sought out, arriving precisely when her financial need was most acute. These weren't abstract blessings. They were practical, tangible manifestations of support that showed up in her everyday life, directly addressing her most urgent and immediate needs. It's almost as if a higher power responded to her openness, her trust, by orchestrating these precise interventions through others.
Right. And beyond these external provisions, perhaps the most profound shift for her was internal. Despite the unchanged difficulty of her external circumstances, let's be clear, things were still tough. She found what she described as a peace she couldn't explain. This wasn't the naive absence of problems. The circumstances were still incredibly difficult and uncertain, but she experienced a profound spiritual peace, an inner tranquility that sort of transcended her external circumstances. And this illustrates that true strength isn't just about overcoming obstacles or having everything go perfectly. It's about cultivating an inner calm, a deep resilience that can reside within you, even amidst the greatest storms of adversity. This profound peace, sometimes, that's the greatest strength we can acquire. It allows us to navigate challenges with grace and fortitude.
That internal peace.
Yeah.
Truly, it is one of the most remarkable outcomes of leaning into this truth.
Yeah.
Now, let's maybe shift gears a bit. Let's transition to a different but equally compelling story, showing this principle at work in a completely different context, that of a high school athlete. This young man had poured his life into his sport, dedicated countless hours, fueled by those ambitious dreams of a scholarship that would pave his way, to college and maybe even a pro career. And then suddenly, devastatingly, a career-ending injury. Imagine the crushing weight of that disappointment for a young person, especially when their entire identity and future aspirations were so entwined with his athletic prowess. The abrupt end of a lifelong pursuit, the shattering of dreams, those future plans. It's an experience that can leave anyone feeling completely lost, stripped of purpose, and utterly directionless.
Indeed. And what's truly fascinating here, and deeply instructive, I think, is how this lowest point for the athlete, it became a pivotal turning point in his life. Instead of being consumed by the profound loss, instead of letting despair define his future, he discovered an entirely new path. Through his faith and the support of his community again, he found a new purpose, mentoring younger students in his church's youth group. He was able to share his experiences, guide them through their challenges, and lead them in ways he never, ever imagined. This just demonstrates how adversity, even the most profound disappointments, can paradoxically redirect our lives towards new, unexpected purposes that are perhaps even more meaningful, more impactful than the ones we initially envisioned. It really is a testament to the transformative power of allowing brokenness to open doors to new forms of flourishing.
It's such a powerful testament, isn't it? Whether it's the financial ruin experienced by the single mother, or the shattering of a lifelong dream for the athlete. These moments of extreme weakness can actually become profound gateways. They can open us up to discovering a deeper, far more resilient strength that we might never have known we possessed. And this strength, as we've seen, isn't rooted in our own efforts or self-sufficiency, but rather in something far greater, a source of power that becomes most evident when our own resources are completely depleted, inviting us into a new way of being and, a new relationship with true power.
Exactly. And what's truly compelling here is that this message isn't exclusively for those facing dramatic, life-altering crises. It really isn't. It holds profound relevance for anyone feeling drained. Drained by the relentless demands of daily responsibilities, by persistent disappointments that kind of chip away at their hope, or even by just a subtle but persistent sense of spiritual dryness, that feeling of just going through the motions, feeling disconnected or simply worn out by the demands of life without a clear sense of replenishment. This timeless message, this profound truth, it is absolutely for you.
And that's the truly empowering truth we want you to take away today. You don't have to fake being strong. You really don't. There's an authentic, liberating invitation here to acknowledge your struggles, to embrace your limits without shame or embarrassment. You are not expected to be superhuman, to carry every burden alone, or pretend you have all the answers. In fact, our exploration suggests that true strength often begins right at the point of honest admission of our own limitations.
If we connect this to the broader principle, it circles right back to that core promise. A greater power offers renewed strength for those who wait on him. Now, this isn't passive waiting, like just sitting back and doing nothing, hoping for some magical intervention. It's more an active posture of trust, a deep reliance, and an anticipation of profound provision. It's about letting go of the immense burden of self-sufficiency, of feeling like you have to carry everything alone, and allowing a higher power to step in and provide what you lack, often through unexpected avenues and through the kindness of others, as we saw. So this raises an important question for all of us, really. What if true sustainable strength truly begins the moment we admit we don't have it all figured out, and we become open to help from beyond ourselves?
Yeah, the practical implications of this truth in our daily lives are profound. They're far-reaching. When we truly acknowledge our weakness, when we stop trying to put on a brave face all the time, it actually opens us up to greater, often completely unexpected forms of support, not just from a divine source, but also tangibly from our community, from friends, family, even strangers sometimes. And perhaps most importantly, it opens us up to a deeper, more abiding inner peace, a tranquility that is not dependent on external circumstances, but arises from a profound sense of trust and acceptance, regardless of what's happening around us.
So in essence, what this deep dive into timeless wisdom and human experience reveals is that true strength. It's often found not in our own capabilities, our fierce independence, or ability to always power through, but paradoxically in our willingness to surrender our limitations, our weaknesses, to a greater power. It's in those moments of yielding, of acknowledging our need, that we become truly and profoundly strong.
So having explored these powerful experiences and these profound truths, consider this once more, perhaps with a new understanding. Have you ever faced a time in your life where you felt utterly depleted at the very end of your own strength and wondered where on earth to find the power to move forward? What might it truly mean for you to embrace that weakness, not as a flaw, but as an invitation?